Book of Demons makes bold moves to try and separate itself from the rest of the games on Steam, bringing Diablo-inspired gameplay, a unique art direction, and a fantastic skill system. This action RPG seems to have a lot going for it. I have had a decent time so far, but I am not sure I can get past the frustrating movement mechanics. Hey everyone, I'm Tyler with Gilded Reviews, and today we're taking a first look at the early access title, Book of Demons. Book of Demons seems to be born from an idea, and that idea is heavily outlined on the developer's website. Developer Return2 Games, or R2G for short, has some ambitious plans, and so far I like where they are going. From what I gather, they see a divide in the gaming community, one that was put there by AAA companies more worried about making money than making games. The idea is that before corporations got involved, games were targeted at everyone, rather than just a group of people, more specifically the hardcore and casual gamers. They believe this created a divide and caused a lot of gamers to fall between the cracks. I don't want to get into the discussion of if I agree with this or not. I see some merit to it for sure. Games like Mario and Zelda are classics that have always been targeted towards everyone. I just thought you guys should know where the developers are coming from. If you want some more information, check out the link in the description. They made a decent video showcasing the plans that they have for the company and its future. Anyhow, I believe that is why they picked this style of game. Not much screams casual and hardcore more than Diablo. It combines simple and addictive gameplay elements for the casuals with timed events, ladder systems, and an endgame that continues well beyond the scope of most titles for the more hardcore. Let's go ahead and move on to the game, starting with the art, animation, and sound. The art and animations are unique and bring a completely different feeling to this genre. Cardboard or paper cutouts could turn players away, but they are really not that bad after you get used to them. This also keeps the animation simple, which I don't mind at all. In titles like this, the screen is bound to get cluttered, making everything hard to see anyhow. It all just fits well together, regardless of my personal preferences. I was also surprised at how little it is taken away from the overall experience. The art direction significantly impacts the rest of the game as well. The combat, movement, and even story is kind of based around this paper cutout or book theme. Let's move on to some of these mechanics, starting with the movement. I simply do not like it very much. Part of the reason why I enjoyed Diablo was because of how you got around the map, avoiding pointless encounters and going for the high drop rate mobs. This isn't the case here. They want you to kill everything. Basically, there is a small predefined path you have to stay on, forcing you to be more strategic when entering combat. This mechanic is not going to be for everyone. I would much rather have some freedom to move around and dodge incoming attacks rather than having to use my mana to jump out of the way. It also makes exploring a drag. Everything kind of looks the same, and not being able to run around the map makes it even more monotonous. Now, some people may really enjoy this. It kind of slows the game down, forcing you to focus on the enemies, what attacks you should use, and your positioning. That just isn't why I play Diablo-inspired games. With these types of games, it's all about jamming on buttons till the enemies explode into loot. When I say it's slower paced combat, I don't mean that it doesn't get frantic, because it does. Each encounter is different, with enemies synergizing off of one another nicely. It all seems really well thought out. Enemies with shields have icons you need to break, and when they are casting, you can interrupt them by clicking on their spell icons. When all these guys get together, the fights can be insane, forcing you to pay attention and sometimes even switch skills or passive abilities around to come out on top. That leads me into this title's skill system, which I'd have to say took me by surprise. I honestly was not expecting much here, but what I found was far more in-depth than I thought. Rather than having an equipment and skill point system, Book of Demons has a card system. I know it sounds crazy, but it works. These cards act as your skills, allowing you to easily swap them in and out when needed. You can even level them up by fusing them with rune cards. All of these cards are found while exploring. You can also find rare versions of the same card that add passives to your skill, like an increased chance to hit skeletons. Leveling is also a little different. You get a single point to put into either your health or mana. If you choose health, a mana orb will go into a cauldron in town where you can collect it, and vice versa. This is also where you pick up the prizes you found throughout the map. This costs some gold, and that cost increases the more you use it. If you die, you will lose all of your prizes but not the mana or health in the cauldron. I enjoyed this mechanic. It gives you something to lose if you die and a huge payoff if you can wait to collect. Currently, there are 3 classes available. I've tested them all out, but I've had the most fun on the rogue. Each class is unique, offering their own cards and gameplay styles. They also offer multiple difficulties you can climb through and a hardcore mode. That is really about it. When you beat what is currently currently available, the game opens up to a free mode for that character. This is pretty much standard for this style of game, and I would be surprised if it didn't have it. Overall, I have had a great time playing through Book of Demons, and I can't wait to see what they add next. However, I would recommend picking up the demo before purchasing it. Test out the movement and make sure the skill system is something you are interested in. This title won't be for everyone, but for many people like me, who played Diablo and Path of Exile to death, it will be a welcome change of pace. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. This video was a quick little first look at Book of Demons. The idea here is to give you guys some information on the company, mechanics, and my initial thoughts on the game. I plan to do a full review of this title, giving you guys more of my personal opinions and a score out of 10 when the game is officially released. Anyhow, thanks again. If you guys liked the video, throw us a thumbs up, check out some of our other content, or consider subscribing. It really helps us out.